All right, let's be real, guys. If you're here today, I want to say thank you. I've been in your shoes before, and we are going to talk about something that is probably going to change your whole entire wholesale operation. And I get it, I've been in your shoes before. So, this is something I'm very excited to share with you guys. So, what we're going to talk about today is probably a little bit different than what you guys have been doing in the past, which is just regular wholesaling deals. I'm not sure if you already done Novation deals or if you haven't, but this is something that can change your life completely. Adding it to the business that you are currently doing right now with just wholesaling your regular wholesale deals, Novations can bring much more profit to your whole entire wholesaling operation. So basically, I'm going to show you those so-called bad leads, stuff that you wouldn't buy within your marketing services. Let's say, new deals come in and you're sending out offers, but these offers don't really qualify for a wholesale deal, right? And you're just throwing away those leads and spending marketing dollars. I'm going to show you how to turn those so-called bad leads into profitable deals that you can start seeing checks for 40, 50, 60, even 100K on one single deal. So this is something totally different that hasn't been taught before the way I am going to be teaching you guys here today. And also, before I do forget, stay around till the end because I'm going to be sharing my Novation deal checklist that's going to help you guys, lock up these deals with these proven PDF checklist where you can, you're talking to the seller, you're locking up the deal, and you can use this guide as a reference, which I use in my personal organization, and you guys can use it as well. So stick around to the end, and then you'll guys get this Novation deal checklist. And obviously, you don't want to miss that. Now, what I need you guys to do is basically close out all of your tabs. Make sure you're in a silent room because we are about to get started. And I don't want you to miss anything that we are going to talk about today because this is going to benefit you tremendously within what you will be doing here in the next few, minutes or hours, however long you take to finish this webinar. So grab a pen, notebook, whatever you need, water, and let's just dive into it right now. So, just a quick backstory on me so you guys understand who I am and what I do. A few years ago, I was doing just wholesaling deals. Just recently, probably about maybe a year and a half, 2 years, I started doing Novation deals. And at first, I was working out all these kinks and, tweaks and fine tuning the exact process and able to make it, a profitable solution in my organization. So, I've been where you guys are. I know the struggle. I was just chasing deals for low margins. And, after working these deals for about a year and a half, I'm able to, go into a Novation deal and come out with, a 40, 50K minimum spread on every single deal. But the reason why I was able to become so successful was just repetition, year after year, deal after deal. And now I'm able to take the same process and system and replicate it and teach you guys exactly how it's done. So basically, what I want to do is I want to pass along this system and process that I created in order to put money inside of your pocket. So just picture this instead of just, chasing these 10, 15K profits on a daily basis and assigning these deals, imagine working and using the same process that I use, right? And you're picking up a deal for almost retail and selling it and making $45,000. It's life changing, right? So imagine doing two, three, four of these deals a month. You're set. So this is the exact systems and process that I want to teach you here today. Okay, so let's talk about what's really possible with a Novation deal. So, for example, we're basically cutting out the cash buyer, the person that's offering you lowball offers on your cash deals where you're spending marketing dollars to acquire that deal. And sometimes, they're trying to get it for the same price as you. So we're cutting all that BS out and we're just going straight to the retail deal to a Novation deal. So, for example, if I pick it up at 100 grand and it's worth 180, I can't sell that to a cash buyer because he's going to have to pay closing costs. He's going to have to pay realtor cost. And I still have to have my fee in there. And he's still going to have to fix it up, stating that it does need work. So we're looking for deals that pretty much don't need a lot of work, right? But you can pick them up close to retail. So let's say I pick a deal up for $100,000 and I sell it for 180. Your spread on that, obviously, you're going to be paying, the realtors, the buyer's agent's closing costs, you're going to be paying the seller's closing costs, but you have an $80,000 spread and you sold it on the retail market for somebody that's willing to pay that top dollar price. So those are basically the kinds of profits you guys been missing because you're not doing novations just yet. But by the end of this module, you'll be ready to do novation deals and start adding them to your wholesaling operation. And in reality, most wholesalers, if they see a deal that, is worth 180 and they can't pick it up for half of that, right? Or 60% of that price, they're probably most likely going to pass on it where you can come in and offer even more because of this strategy. So if you add this strategy and you're not passing on those deals, right? Because every deal you pass on is basically a cost added to your operation. But if you're able to secure those deals that you would have passed on, you're going to make much more money. And especially if you're using a novation strategy where a deal that you passed on, somebody's making 50K and you're not making anything, you're just spending those marketing dollars. So that's what's possible with novation, adding extra exit strategies to your wholesaling operation where you can make a lot more money. So let me break it down how the structure of a novation deal works to make it real simple for you guys. Okay. So it's the same exact thing as a wholesale deal, right? The only difference is you're pitching all the benefits, everything. You're just using different contracts, right? And you're also going to be listing it on the MLS. So your pitch is going to change, right? So let's say they agree to your offer and you send out the contracts, they sign it online, you picked it up for 200,000 and it's worth probably 280, right? You go to sell it, you get a full asking price of 280. Now you can always structure the deal however you want to structure it, right? Usually what I do is I basically say, look, I'm going to pay for all closing costs, realtor fees, everything associated to it. So when you go to sell it on the market, you can also negotiate with the realtor on if the buyer's going to be paying all closing costs. Typically, the seller's going to be paying their closing costs, which is you. You're going to be paying their closing costs, and you're going to be paying the buyer's agents if you can't find a buyer. And you can always negotiate the percentage of how much the buyer's agent is going to make, whether 1% to 3%, 2%. We usually pay 2%. So if you take the 200 minus the 280 full asking price offer that you got minus your fees, you're probably going to net around 70 grand, right? Let's say 10 grand for realtor costs, closing costs, all that stuff, you're netting 70,000. So once you do that, same process, you send all the paperwork to the title company, but you're netting that amount much higher than you would on a regular wholesale deal. And it's also a lead that you would have thrown away because you don't know the strategy, right? So the moment you learn this and you start implementing it into your business, you're going to see a lot more profit in your business. All right, so you're probably wondering how to put all of this into action. I can take a few minutes here and explain to you guys how we can possibly work together so we can put these strategies and steps and systems and process into place so that it will become, second nature, easy for you to do these deals in, your regular wholesaling operation. So I built this program called Novations in Automations, and it's pretty much basically designed to make every step of the process simple and easy for you to understand. And this is pretty much what's included. Full step training with step-by-step modules. You will get access to my Novation deal checklist. We'll also do weekly Q&As to all of our members. You also get to download all the scripts, all the contracts that we use, pretty much everything that I use in my business today. And my favorite is the partnership where you get access to work with me and my team on your deals. Listen, and I get it, it's an investment, but that's the reason why I'm making it risk-free. Within the first 30 days, if you don't see any results, you can walk away with no questions asked. Normally, this program runs about $2,000, but you can get it here today because you're on this webinar for $150, and that's a 90% discount if you were not to get this today. And look, I know you showed up today because you want to change, what you're currently doing because you're not seeing results. And I get it. I get it 100%, right? But if you're ready to make action and start making real money, click the link and I'll see you guys on the inside of the program. Let's make this year your best year.